effectively. So we will resume the game now. The 3-minute mandatory pause has been put into effect, and this is just to prevent any sort of screening from the SGS players. Of course, they won't do that, but it's just a precautionary measure. So let's take a look at the lane matchups once again. It's going to be ahq Prize up against Ben W in the top lane, Mundo up against Renekton. In the jungle, Naz playing Olaf, Hallelujah playing Shyvana. In the mid lane is Mr. Albus on Kassadin and Cryonics on Syndra. And in the bottom duo lane is going to be Garnet Devil on Sivir, Green Tea on Thresh up against Chawi on Jace and Kyling on Taric. So who do you give the team composition to? We kind of talked about how ahq had that catching potential as well as split push and wave clear potential, and SGS kind of has a tanky front line, burst mage coming in the form of Syndra, and of course with the poke coming in from Jace. So what do you think the two team compositions kind of hold up to each other?
Well, given the fact that both teams are playing relatively new champions that we have not seen them play before, it's quite hard to make the calls right now. But in a sense, Singapore Sentinels, they do have a bit more flexibility. But my concern for them is Jace going to be that hard carry that they need to carry them through into the mid and late game stage? Because as much as we love Jace for his poke and for his instantaneous burst damage, he doesn't really have all that much auto attack potential. And I think that's going to be the first concern that Singapore Sentinels will have to address coming into this game. And here we see Garnet Devil just throwing out some boomerangs to kind of scare Choi away from the lane. And let's take a look at the trinket items being picked up for both teams. We do see a full warding totem trinket coming in from Singapore Sentinels, whereas for ahq Esports Club they do have that sweeping lance coming in from Ness, and I think that is an excellent choice coming in from him, because for ahq Esports Club they are so used to playing early game aggression, and that sweeping lance will just open up more opportunities. You can just clear out those early wards that Singapore Sentinels will be able to place down, and after it just go in for the aggression. And for this time around we do see both teams, they are opting to go for standard matchups. They're not going to do any lane swaps, and I am quite surprised to see how Cryonics will try to fend his own against Albus here. And there we go, Garnet Devil being stunned up, being dazzled up by Kyling there, taking a few damage for himself. Green Tea will flay Choi back, making a whole lot of damage there. It does look like ahq Esports Club will have the early game trade-off and win in that trade-off as well.
Yeah, the burst damage coming out from Sivir, as well as even at level 1 just hitting a few auto attacks as well as the boomerang blade would definitely allow them to kind of win that lane ahead. Taric doesn't really have much burst potential come level 1 with only the
there we go!
comes in.
Well, and the camera just went haywire there, and Choi actually taking a whole lot of damage in that. But he is going to survive just for the meantime. But you compare their health to what ahq has at this meantime, and once again Choi taking another boomerang blade to his face, and he's just sitting at one of his HP now. There we go. Hallelujah will join in the fray with the flash, but he will just be flayed right back as he will find this gang a little futile.
It's very interesting to see Hallelujah go in for the aggressive flash, especially since Chawi has less than 100 HP. I thought that Hallelujah was just there to kind of assert some lane dominance to just scare them away and allow Chawi to just back off while they maintain some lane control, but burning that flash I don't think was worth it at all. And I want to point out another thing. Cryonics has actually decided to spec quite deeply into the utility tree, where we see Naz actually come up to put some lane pressure as well, because he does have that Biscuiteer Mastery, which turns your potion into the Total Rejuvenation Biscuit in itself.
Right, Total Biscuit of Rejuvenation there, so quite heavy on the utility tree like you mentioned earlier. There we go, Fights chunking it out against Ben W up in the top lane, and it does look like Ben W kind of understand this Mundo matchup up in the top lane, and he's not too concerned about it at this point in time, as we do see Nace coming in from behind onto Cryonics there. Will he go down in this exchange? And there we go, Cryonics has to burn the flash to get out of the way, and that's one flash down and one summoners down. It does look like Cryonics will opt to go back to get some help for himself.
Yeah, not much aggression being shown in the early game, but we do see the junglers kind of show their face in the lanes, try to burn a few summoner spells, and it seems that Naz, as well as the aggression from the bottom lane from Garnet Devil is Green Tea, we know that they have, like you said, ahq are a very early game aggressive kind of team, and that aggressiveness has allowed them to get the flash out from Hallelujah, the flash out from Cryonics, the barrier and the flash from Chawi, and as well as the exhaust from Kyling. So having those summoner spells down is definitely going to put them kind of ahead in the early game.
Right, what do you think of this Thresh and Taric matchup? I don't think we have really touched on that. And my opinion is that my money's on Thresh, because you just kind of offer a bit more utility from the Lantern and as well as from the Flay as well. And you have somewhat a better control as compared to Tarek, but the good thing about Tarek is that you're a much more tankier frontliner as compared to Thresh in the most aspect, and I wonder how Carling is going to play that in his favor. But what are your thoughts, Wolf? What are your thoughts about that?
I don't know. I like the Tarek pickup. Like you said, it's the flavor of the month, but Tarek's Shatter kind of just scales off of the bonus armor, allowing you to get more aura as well as more damage of the active ability in itself. But if you look at ahq's lineup, they have Mundo, which deals quite a bit of magic damage and percent health damage. Kassadin, which just deals a ton of burst magic damage, and Thresh in itself does quite a bit of magic damage as well, so that armor isn't really gonna help much other than defend against the crazy damage from boomerang blades coming out from Garnet Devil and Sivir, and maybe a little bit from Olaf's Undertow, but other than that, that's just about it. And Thresh in itself is able to scale late game by just picking up some souls and just getting tankier as the game goes by. So if they kind of let this go into ahq's favor, Mundo's gonna get so tanky that they can't deal with it. Olaf is going to get so tanky that they can't deal with it as well, and Thresh in itself innately becomes quite a late game tanky beast.
Right, so we do see Singapore Sentinels reacting to what ahq Esports Club and the amount of pressure they have put on. It seems that they will go for this lane swap, so a late lane swap has somewhat shown in the deficit, and Gunner Devil will use that version to block out the relentless predator that it's going to put out from there.
Going to block out the Ruthless Predator indeed. And we do have a gang coming from Naz, does hit the Undertow, and now Chowie in a little bit of trouble.
Right, it does look like he will use the hammering stance to try to block them out, but Chowie will go down and Prides will pick up the first blood for himself, with that reaching level 6 as well. So very quick response coming in from ahq Esports Club. They knew for a fact that once they saw BenW down in the bottom lane, and given the fact that they have been applying so much pressure onto Chowie, they will be able to come in with that level advantage to try to bring them down, and that was exactly what happened.
Yeah, that was exactly what happened indeed. And the lane swap kind of didn't really work in SGS's favor, because what happened during the lane swap is that now you have Mundo trying to farm under his turret, and this allows for Olaf to have a free gank lane, and being in the long lane especially allows you additionally to kind of hit those undertows, and it seems that Hallelujah is doing a little bit of counter jungling himself, passing the blue buff to Kai Ling.
Right, that's a rather strange decision, but in a sense, you know, Shyvana doesn't really have mana issues, so you can just pass it over to Kai Ling, probably spam up that imbue a little bit more just to heal up Chowie. And you know, at least they did take something away from ahq in that whole exchange. So right now, at this point of time, both teams still relatively equal. There's only that one blood, the first blood separating both teams, and there we go. The Dazzle will stun up Naze in the exchange. Will Chowie be able to escape? And there we go with the flash play, as well as the Death Sentence will keep Chowie in place. Does look like Gunner Devil will eventually secure the kill, and there we go. The flash burn as well. I'm not too sure if that's the right decision that Chowie should be going for, but nevertheless, one more kill secure for ahq Esports Club, but this time going to Gunner Devil, and Singapore Sentinels will respond to this by trying to pick up the dragon, but it's just what will Prides around the area. But I think, yeah, it's not going to be doing anything much with Hallelujah having his caught up. There we go, the Dragon's Descent as well. He will stick on to Prides in that exchange. He does have the raid buff, but Prides is just running around with the ultimate being popped already. BenW will give chase as well, but Mr. Albus is just around the area. Will Prides go in for this one? Doesn't look like both teams are just happy. And there we go, Unleash Power as well. But Prides, so tanky at this point of time, he only has the Chain Rest. So I think that's a worrying sign coming in from Singapore Sentinels right at this point of time. It does look like the entire squad of ahq Esports Club will collapse onto this bottom turret, and it does look like they will pick it out for themselves.
Yeah, that's right. So the kill in the top lane was actually responded by SGS by taking a dragon. We will be going to the replay for that one. So let's take a look at how Chowie actually got hit. He gets hit by the Undertow, and you see the flash play come in right now from Green Tea, locking up into the Death Sentence, and the Lantern will allow Gunner Devil to come in to just pick up that easy kill. The flash kind of burned from Chowie. He thought he was able to escape from that one after dodging the boomerang blade, but that one last auto attack from Gunner Devil didn't even heal.
That's right, so Singapore Sentinels not looking for that early game that they were kind of hoping for, and I think ahq Esports Club just doing what they do best, but this time around in the forms of some different champions from what we usually see that they go for, and I think in a sense it will create some relief for Mr. Albis as well, because he's playing that Cassidy, and what he needs is just time to build up into that mid and late game stage, and he's doing relatively well, even though he's sitting at a CS deficit against Cryonics at this point of time.
Yeah, he is sitting at a slight CS deficit, but that roam from Kassadin is something that you have to take into account as well. He's already level 7, will have that Void Walk up constantly, and the map pressure that they are able to put, especially having a roaming jungler, and aggressive jungler such as Olaf being played by Nas here, so it's going to be very effective come in. So Mr. Albis gets caught out.
Right, so it does look like Mr. Albis will actually run away from that one, burning the flash in the process as well. And then got a leaf power once again being jumped onto Mr. Albis there. Will he be able to actually get off this one? The Ignite gets popped as well. 1 tick, 2 tick, that's not going to be enough, and Prides will face up against Cryonics together with Naze, and that will be one more kill being secured by him. And with that 2 kills under his belt, and you know, with that Giant's belt as well, I think he'll be going for the Sunfire Cape relatively soon.
Yeah, that's right. So things aren't really going in favor of SGS in the early game. Nas has decided to kind of target Chowie as well as Cryonics. I feel, like you said, Chowie, we know him to be the all-star AD carry of Southeast Asia. He did represent the region in the All-Stars matchup in Shanghai earlier this year, and it seems that they really know who to kind of focus on. So giving the early kills to your top laner as well as 3 assists to Nas as the jungler will kind of prevent Hallelujah from making any sort of plays. You saw then that he was kind of able to go and try to pick up Mr. Albis, but the response from Prides as well as Nas was just instantaneous, and they just pick up the counter kill for the counter gang very easily. SGS still hasn't taken any objectives outside of Dragon and does not have any kills to their name, and the gold difference, as you can see, ahq is in a pretty commanding goal lead 11 minutes into the game at about 1,000 gold ahead.
That's right, and Gunner Devil at this point of time having 103 CSs compared to Choi's 74, so they do have to somewhat respond to that quickly, because the thing about Singapore Sentinels is that they are comfortable with letting Choi farm by himself and get to a stage where he's strong enough to carry the team on his shoulders. But at this point of time, like you mentioned earlier, ahq Esports Club do know who is the prime target that they want to go for, and they have been controlling Choi very well 12 minutes into this one, and I think Singapore Sentinels, they have to, you know, just kind of straighten up the strategy, make sure they know what to do before going right back into this and having some solutions of their own as well.
Yeah, look at the map pressure that ahq has created. It just allows Nas to just go in, well on counter jungle. Kylie actually popped the Radiance as well as his Shatter, but the depth centers coming in from Green Sea is just going to stop BenW in his tracks. Nas does join them up in the top lane. Mr. Albis just clearing out that vision ward in the brush there, and it's going to be more map pressure being put onto ahq. I expect them to take a few turrets soon and just rotate to the Dragon when it comes up very shortly.
So it does look like Gunner Devil should be able to take up this turret relatively soon, but it's a 3-on-3 matchup, and Naze shows his face in this top lane. Does look like Singapore Sentinels will be able to keep the turret just for a little while longer, but look out, Mr. Albis is on his way here. He gets spotted out by the ward there, but he is still around, just showing his presence. It does look like HQ really just wants this top turret for themselves as soon as they can.
Yeah, if they fight, this is going to be a 4v4 with all of them having their ultimates up, so they will try to go in. Mr. Albis does pull out the Void Wall and hits BenW, a nice flash coming out from it, and now the fight just breaks loose.
Right, Kylie is brought down solo with the combination of the Death Centers, and Hallelujah now has to run for his life. Naze gets brought down by Cryonics with the release power, and Mr. Albis will in turn take the return kill. BenW joins the fray, but he will just get blown up by Gunner Devil in the process. So in the end, it is a 2-for-4 exchange in the favor of ahq Esports Club, with Gunner Devil picking up that double kill for himself.
That's right, Gunner Devil is going to be very happy with those kills. He's 3-0-2. We will go see the replay now, and let's take a look at how ahq actually won that fight. So we do have that Void Wall come in. BenW gets slowed. He will have his ultimate very shortly. Gets hit by the Undertow. He will see the flash, and then Kylie will get the death sentence onto him. A stun does come on to Mr. Albis. Hallelujah joins the fight. We'll pop the Dragon's Descent very shortly, and now BenW has that Dominus ultimate coming in. Mr. Albis goes in, slays Kylie. Hallelujah pops his Dragon's Descent. and then the teleport will come in now from Mundo. Naz gets one-shotted at this point of time, being so low on health. The Unleashed Power coming out. Cryonix is way too far in the front. Price is able to just go in and take up the turret. Mr. Albis picking up that one kill. You see Ben W melting, and finally, of course, Hallelujah goes down as well.
Right, so in the meantime, Singapore Sentinels have decided to go for the Dragon, and I think this Dragon will be somewhat, you know, keeping them into the game. But at this point of time, they are still sitting at a good 2,500 gold deficit. But I think given the changes coming in with the pie patch, they will be somewhat able to fend off for themselves and, you know, come back into this should they drag the game long enough. And at this point of time, it does seem like ahq Esports Club, they are ramping up quite comfortably. Prides at this point of time finishing up that Sunfire's Cape ready, and I think he'll be finishing up the Spirit Research surely as well. And we do see Ben W just challenging for this, and there we go, Prides will pick up that red buff for himself from the Infected Cleaver.
That's right, and not only that, having a 5 kill advantage as well as a 2 turret advantage against SGS, and only being about 2,000 gold ahead of them just kind of shows that SGS is still trying to farm up as much as possible. They already took 2 dragons down, and they just want to prevent the gold from bleeding away from them. They haven't really been able to put any map pressure and have been constantly on the defensive, and right now, as you can see, they have hit certain item thresholds. We do have Renekton with the Sunfire's Cape. Shyvana has been sitting on that Wriggle's Lantern for quite some time, does pick up the Giant as well. The Ateen's Unholy Grail already completed on Cryonix, and of course the Manamune being stacked up right now onto Chowie. So that's going to be very good for them if they are able to kind of hold their own, stop bleeding the goal, and hopefully take a few team fights to their favor.
Right, I think that's the other important change coming in with the pie patch as well, is that now Dragon gives you additional XP as well as that goal if you're behind. So in that sense, it's the consolation prize for Singapore Sentinels. They have to constantly visit the Dragon Pit over and over again, make sure that they do have that money in the bag so that they will not lose out too much when ahq tries to go for it. And at this point in time, ahq Esports Club picking up 2 turrets for themselves, but they are kind of looking at this mid turret right now. But if they, you know, they are unable to pick it up soon, then they will just be effectively wasting their time here. But at the same time, they do have Mr. Albis down the bottom lane as well. And I think for Mr. Albis, he has shown pretty good map pressure around this game so far. But he is going to be the one threat that Singapore Sentinels will have to watch out for, because he's ramping up quite comfortably. 1-0-3 has that Rod of Ages completed on himself already, and I think the next item he'll be going for will be that Seraph Embrace. And as we do see Singapore Sentinels just meeting up with Maze in the jungle, he has to pop that Ragnarok, but he will be able to get out of there safely.
Yeah, I'd really like to compare the tier stacks on Mr. Albis as well as the Manamune stacks on Chowie. Chris, could you help me out with that a little bit? Because I know that right now ahq is in the lead, but if Chowie can kind of stack up that Manamune faster than the tier, hopefully he can actually build it into the Muramana very shortly, and the Seraph's Embrace will not come out so quickly on the side of Mr. Albis.
Right, looking at the figures now, it does look like Choi is stacking that up just a little bit faster, but is that going to be enough? And there we go, on the hunt, and Green Tea now let the max range Death Sentence on to Hallelujah here, and they will chase down Cryonix as well. It does look like Kyling will once again go down in the exchange. That's another double kill going to Gala Devil in the exchange, and like we mentioned earlier, that's the power of Silver in this upcoming patch, because on the hunt just gives you so much more mobility. And you see ahq Esports Club, they had maximum disregard for that turret. They're just going all in on for that, and then securing 3 kills for themselves. And once again, Death Sentence on the Choy. Mr. Albis will pick up that kill. Then W looks like he will follow soon as well. Mr. Albis with the ignite popped onto him, does look like he will not go down the exchange, and ahq Esports Club will not go for the ace, but they are happy with what they got out in the exchange. 2 turrets for themselves and an additional 4 kills in the exchange. Yeah, that's wow, what a reward for them.
That is a reward indeed. They take the 4 kills, and we will see how they take that 4 kills in the replay right here. So like I said, maximum disregard from the turret. The on the hunt will be popped, and look at Green Tea. Pulls off a max range death sentence even after getting hit from the stun. So that coil up into Hallelujah just catches him out, doesn't allow him to use the dragons. Instead, Cryonix will go down next from the burst damage from Mr. Albis as well as Pride. And then Kyling being caught in the back foot just gets killed at that point of time as well.
Right, so it does look like both teams are slightly just regrouping up and making sure that they will be able to continue on with this game. And looking at what HQ Esports Club have at this point of time. They do have pretty good ward control over Singapore Sentinels, and they are very deep wards as well. It just goes to show that they want to maintain control, make sure that they are able to spot out Singapore Sentinels wherever they are, and kind of just make sure that they will be able to call out. There we go, Gunner Devil will be called out with the Dazzle as well, but Singapore Sentinels, they are collapsing onto HQ Esports Club. Maze pops the Ragnarok as well, and once again, BW getting called out with the Death Sentence as well as the Flare, and Cryonics looks like he's in a wall of trouble as Nace melts him down instantaneously, and there we go, Charlie together with Cryonic will go down as well, and does look like that's the double kill for Nace right there. Gunner Devil secures one more kill for himself. He's now 6-0-6, and that is one happy and fat Silver.
Yeah, that's going to be a very happy and fat Silver. He has already 2 armor penetration items, the Last Whisper as well as the Brutalizer being built onto himself, and it seems that AHQ will be attempting the Baron at this point of time, and SGS, they do not have the resources to kind of respond to this. This is a pre-20-minute Baron, and HQ, after taking those 3 kills in the top lane, will just be happy to secure this major objective. So this is going to extend their gold lead to almost 10,000 gold. They are about 9,000 gold ahead. They have 12 kills in their favor as well as 4 turrets, and SGS so far, the only objective they've been able to pick up are the 2 kills as well as the 2 dragons. So if you take a look at the items coming out from them, all of the members of AHQ are at least an item ahead, and not forgetting Mr. Alberts has decided to buy that maximum respectful Magi Soul Stealer.
I like how you called it respectful Magi Soul Stealer, but yeah, it's usually when one team is just so confident of picking up the victory that they will go for this item, because if not, you are not going to get enough kills, and that will just go to waste that amount of gold that you invested in that item. But this look like Dragon has respawned. Will Singapore Sentinels actually go for it, or will HQ Esports Club actually secure their first Dragon of the game? They have been giving over to Singapore Sentinels all this while. It does look like Singapore Sentinels will give that up to them. They do have a ward in the area, but you know, given the sense that they are so far behind, they will give that up to HQ Esports Club. They don't want to risk anything in the exchange. And once again, HQ Esports Club, just knowing where to be at the right time, picks up one more objective for themselves.
Yeah, the Singapore Sentinels have completely lost control of their own jungle as well. They have about 3 wards in their own jungle and a few wards in the entrance points, but it's fight just breaks out right now.
Right, there we go with Green Tea flashing in with the flare and keeping everyone back in with the box as well, and fights will just go in, and that is the killing spree, picking up that kill onto Charlie, and Gunner Devil godlike just picking up that kill onto BW as well. Cryonics has to run for his life together with Cryonics, and does look like Hallelujah is on the wrong side of the map as he dashes right back into his jungle. It does look like he will be escaping out of this one, but once again, HQ Esports Cup picking up 2 more kills in the exchange and that turret for themselves. Will Singapore Sentinels actually protect this bottom lane turret? It does look like they do have all the resources they need for HQ Esports Cup to take that away. And there we go with the engage, and fights will melt down to Kylie in the exchange. So even with the glitter and the Dazzle and the Shadow as well, he will not be able to keep AHQ away from the turret, and they will just back away from there. They will not take the inhibitor, but they are happy with the exchange. And you do see Hallelujah trying to fend off and get some gold in the pocket as he solo pushes this mid lane turret. It does look like he will take that for himself. He is now fleeing for his life. Dragon's Descent as well. It does look like he wants to go for the suicide here, and he's just recalling. I think he will get the suicide. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Albers is just around the area. Yeah, that will be a suicide from Hallelujah.
Yeah, that will be a successful suicide from Hallelujah. So consolation prize to SGS. They lose their inner turret in the bot lane as well as the inhibitor turret, but Hallelujah making the correct decision. They realize that AHQ isn't really going to chase him. He makes a beeline to the mid lane, pushes out the wave and gets the outer turret. So the first turret of the game going to SGS, but it still doesn't change the fact that the goal lead that AHQ has is commanding 13,000 gold 23 minutes into the game.
Right, Singapore Sentinels now, they have to face up against the siege against HQ Esports Club, but I would have to say HQ Esports Club, they do have excellent siege potential coming from the silver pick, and given the fact that, you know, Charlie has not been able to ramp up, his potential is not all that scary for HQ Esports Club to face off right now, as HQ just marches into Singapore Sentinels base. It does look like they will pick up this inhibitor for themselves, and Pride's actually taking a whole chunk of damage, and Green Team with the misplay there, but it's not going to change for the fact that Singapore Sentinels are just getting jumped on by HQ Esports Club. Kyling will now go down together with NW as well, and Cryonics will go down in the exchange as well. And there we go, that's the shutdown coming in from Charlie. Some extra goal for him in the pockets, and NW actually he's still alive in this one, but not for long as Mr. Alvis picks up that one more kill onto himself. Does look like HQ Esports Club will secure the ace for them, with only Nays going down in the process, and they are making work on to the Nexus turrets now. Will they be able to actually finish this game off? And Green Team now taking a whole ton of damage, and they are happy with what they have in the process, and they will back off from there. But nevertheless, taking a whole chunk of goal away from Singapore Sentinels just in that one match.
Yeah, they do trade that 5 for 1. Naz goes down, gives the shutdown kill to, I believe it was Chowie. And what happened there was they took the inhibitor, they took one Nexus turret, and it seems that SGS will... I really don't think that there will be any chance for them to claw back this game. They are about 16,000 gold behind, 24 minutes in the game, already lost an inhibitor as well as a Nexus turret. And I really don't know what to say, because
it seems like you are speechless for a moment.
I'm quite speechless right now. A Sunfire Cape as well as the Spirit Visage coming out from Mundo. The same thing on the side of Olaf as well. He'll be building to the Sunfire Cape very shortly. Magi's Rod of Ages as well as parts of the tier as well as parts of the Zonia.
Oh, there was a fight going on, and HQ Esports Club Pride's picking up one more kill for himself, and there we go, Green Team secured the kill onto NW as well. That's 3 members down already, and Mr. Elvis will secure that one more kill, declining there. Choi actually picks up 1 kill for himself, and Pride's giving chase on the Hallelujah there, but that's not going to be enough, as HQ Esports Club, you know, they are not going for a whole lot of aces here, but every time if they can go for it, they will go for it, but sometimes they are just happy killing over like 3 or 4 people and then just going for the next major objective after that. But nevertheless, a very dominating performance coming in from HQ Esports Club, and I think it's just the fact that they have adopted so well into this current patch, and they understand the champions as well and know how to push it. And there we go, HQ Esports Club making some finishing touches onto the Nexus turret there. It does look like game 1 will go to HQ Esports Club as they pick up the first victory against the Singapore Sentinels here tonight.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a 26-minute game with